is that if you know that God exists, why in the world would you not give him everything that you have? Why? It's to your detriment. Everything will be tested by fire. Everything will be brought into the light. There is not one thing that you're going to hide. Every single thing you will stand before millions and millions of people and millions of angels looking at you in all of your sin, all of your iniquity, all of your motives, all of your goodness. Everything is laid prostrate, laid naked, laid bare, more naked than Adam and Eve. You are naked, standing there before a holy God, and yet we think somehow we're going to have more num-nums. That's the way to do it. I've got it figured out. Painful. You know what it looks like? Questioning your motives. Being honest with what it is that you feel or that you think, or the motives of a relationship, the motives of what you're doing. It's being honest with yourself and allowing enough time to sit still and allow those things to surface. But you know what we do instead? We have num-nums, like I've spoken on before. You go to Facebook and you're just numbing it. It's just a num-num. Just numb the brain, just zombified. This is great, guys. Seriously, that's what we do. We just look at num-nums all the flipping time. That's all we ever do. Numb. And what are we doing? We're numbing the ground, allowing it more compacting of the soil. Harder and harder and harder, our heart becomes compounded, and we never think and stop for a minute. Why do I have anxiousness? Why do I feel envious? Why do I have strife everywhere I go? Why do I wake up and have moments and seasons of depression, seasons of suicide, seasons of cutting, seasons of sexual immorality? Why do these things keep coming up? I know the answer. More num-num. It'll fix it all, guys. More num-num. Seriously. Put on a movie. Stop your thoughts. Really? You don't think that's how you got there to begin with? Like, hello, McFly. Sorry, you don't remember that movie. But I'm showing my age right now. So, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? What's a greater fool? The one that denies God's existence, or the one that knows that he exists and doesn't give him everything? That's the difference, church, is that if you don't give him everything, don't you dare stand on the sidelines and point to what somebody else has and envy what they have in their marriage, in their spiritual walk, in their victory of overcoming sin. Don't you dare be that person, because it's yourself that you need to look at in the mirror and say, I'm responsible. You want to know why our church has only a handful of people? It's because messages like that get preached. It's the truth. But here's the thing. I had to answer those two fundamental questions. Does God exist? First question. If he does exist, which God is it? Is it the Mormon God? Is it the Buddha God? Is it the Jehovah's Witness God? Which God is it? Once I determined that it's the Jesus Christ of Nazareth, his death, his burial, his resurrection, and I recognized that he rose from the grave, and Josephus and Papias and all of these scholars and historians that hated Jesus wrote about a man who they couldn't find. And we can't find him because he rose from the grave. Hello? He's not here anymore. And so once you recognize God exists and what God it is, why in the world would you not give him everything? Your purity, your motives, your sexual needs, everything. You are a fool. A fool. You're going to stand before millions of people, millions of angels, angelic beings, and you're going to stare your Maker in the face, and every single thing you will give an account for on Judgment Day. Let me downshift for a minute. I'm getting about 4 RPMs. I'm going to have a heart attack. I suppose if evolution is true, and you truly are a cosmic miscarriage, a fart in the wind when looking at the vacuum of purposeless, meaningless, and emptiness and void, good of the zoo to you, And morality is subjective because I just evolved to be an axe murderer or a rapist or whatever it is because it's accordance to my biological genes. It has nothing to do with morality or God's law or free will for that matter. A real sense of right and wrong. Just Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors of ice cream. What's true for you is true for you. What's true for me is true for me. Right? That's the worldview you want to embrace? Okay. Then it would make sense that that person wouldn't look inward. It would make sense, wouldn't it? Because what are you going to find is primordial soup. Primordial soup. You're going to look inward and all you're going to find is just soup. Soup for the soul. Just look inward. Just goo to the zoo to you. Why would that person have any motive or any intention on looking inward? Why progress and be better? Because being better is just on a subjective line, in which case one person's righteousness or good standing or good works doesn't mean anything. We're just evolved anyway. Why even bother ridding yourself of sin? Why even trying to become a better person? What would be the point? Honestly, what would be the point? Because after all, every thought, every action, every belief, everything that you have, you didn't actually freely come to that decision. Rather, your biological makeup just farted and you had a thought or a belief. Your genes evolved. There's no such thing as truth. There is no such thing as absolute morality. Torturing babies for fun? It's true for you. It's true for you. Seriously. Maybe I evolved to want to do that. There is no moral rights and duties. There is no objective standard.
You're giving me space.